Hello, and welcome to Russia-Ukraine News, where we cover every latest on Russian invasion on Ukraine. Please make sure to subscribe and like the video. Many of the tunnels being utilized these days in Ukrainian efforts to protect the country have been constructed in the Cold War era. Faced with the prospect of sending Russian troops into subterranean combat, Vladimir Putin demurred. "There is no want to climb into those catacombs and crawl underground," he told his defense minister on April 21, ordering him to cancel a planned storming of a metal plant in the besieged Ukrainian port city of Mariupol. While Putin's backup plan, to shape a seal around trapped Ukrainian forces and wait it out, is no much less brutal, and there are reviews that Russians may nonetheless have set up an offensive at the site. Putin's hesitancy to ship his forces right into a sprawling community of tunnels under the complicated hints of a reality in conflict. Tunnels may be a powerful device in resisting an oppressor. Indeed, for the reason that battle commenced in February, reviews have emerged of Ukrainian defenders the use of underground tunnel networks in efforts to deny Russian invaders manage of important cities as nicely as to offer sanctuary for civilians. As an expert in army records and theory, I know there is sound questioning behind the use of tunnels as each a shielding and defensive tactic. Such networks permit small devices to transport undetected with the aid of using aerial sensors and emerge in sudden places to release marvel assaults and then basically disappear. For an invader who does now no longer own an intensive map of the subterranean passages, this may gift a nightmare scenario, main to big personnel losses, plummeting morale and lack of ability to complete the conquest in their city objective, all factors that can have factored in Putin's selection now no longer to ship troops underground in Mariupol. Military tunneling's records. The use of tunnels and underground chambers in instances of conflict is nothing new. The use of tunnels has been a common issue of conflict for millennia. Ancient besieging forces used tunneling operations as a means to weaken in any other case nicely fortified positions. This normally required engineers to assemble lengthy passages beneath partitions or different obstacles. Collapsing the tunnel weakened the fortification. If nicely timed, an attack carried out in the instant aftermath of the breach would possibly cause a success storming of the defended position. One of the earliest examples of this method is depicted on Assyrian carvings, which are lots of years old. While a few attackers climb ladders to hurricane the partitions of an Egyptian city, others may be visible digging on the foundations of the partitions. Roman armies relied closely upon state-of-the-art engineering strategies such as placing arches into the tunnels they built at some point of sieges. Roman defenders additionally perfected the art of digging counter-tunnels to intercept the ones utilized by attackers earlier than they offered a threat. Upon penetrating an enemy tunnel, they flooded it with caustic smoke to pressure out the enemy or launched a marvel assault upon unsuspecting miners. The fulfillment of tunneling under fortifications led European engineers inside the Middle Ages to design approaches to thwart the tactic. They constructed castles on bedrock foundations, making any try to dig underneath them lots slower, and surrounded partitions with moats in order that tunnels might want to be a ways deeper. Although tunneling remained an essential issue of sieges via the 13th century, it became eventually changed with the aid of using the creation of gunpowder artillery, which proved an extra effective manner to breach fortifications. However, with the aid of using the mid-19th century, advances in mining and tunnel creation caused a resurgence in subterranean methods to conflict. During the Crimean War in the 1850s, British and French attackers tried to tunnel beneath Russian fortifications on the Battle of Sevastopol. 10 years later, Ulysses S. Grant authorized and tried to tunnel under Confederate defenses on the siege of Petersburg, Virginia. In each cases, huge caches of gunpowder have been positioned in chambers created with the aid of using tunneling beneath key positions and detonated in coordination with an infantry. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this edition of the news. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.